What's going on, everyone? Isaiah Henry back with the Real Deal Durham Podcast. Okay, we have a question and answer for you. Now, again, these questions come from either my Instagram DMs, emails, some of my mentorship clients, or anyone who's got a question about real estate. So if you do have a question for me, please reach out, comments, DMs, whatever you got. I'd love to feature your question here on the Real Deal Durham Podcast. Let's get into it. Hey, Isaiah, I'm looking to rent a property. Nice. Buying is a little out of the question for me at this point, so I want to make sure I'm in good shape to get accepted as a tenant. What can I do to prepare? Well, first of all, you're doing a bang-up job making sure you're going that extra mile to prepare yourself, because I know so many people who want to be renters but just have a laissez-faire approach to it. They're like, ugh, I guess I'll rent. No. This is still a competitive market. Whether you're a renter or you're a buyer, you need to be competitive so that you're getting the best property possible, whether you're renting or buying. But let's get into what I would do. So the first thing I would do before we even talk about the rental or anything is let's get your budget in order. I do this with all my clients to make sure that we're actually going after a property that they can afford and maintain over the long term. So when I'm doing a budget with myself or client, or you can do this yourself, is you start with your income. Write down all your incomes, whether you're getting paid, you have government assistance, you have side hustle, your mom gives you money every month, whatever it is, write all your income down to start. The next thing I do is take the rent amount that you feel is appropriate. If you're looking for a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom, we're going to run some comparable properties to give you a little bit of a range of what you can expect to pay for rent. So we now have our income and our rent, and then we'll start with some of the other expenses like our insurance, utilities, groceries, car payments. If you have a car payment, please sell it. I'm not a huge fan of car payments. We can get into that later. But if you have a car payment, fine, write it down. But if not, try to sell it so we don't have that on our debt portfolio there. And then the last thing, any loan or debt payments, whether it's credit cards, consumer debts, student loans, or anything like that. Once we have a really good look at your budget and making sure all the numbers are in line, we can move on to step number 2, which is our documents. So there's a lot of documents that you got to get together. When you're buying a house, a lot of the documentation side is taken care of by the mortgage agent or the bank or your lender. But on a lease, a lot of the paperwork is done upfront by either yourself or with your realtor in real time. So for the documents, first thing we're going to do is fill out a standard rental application. Now, depending on who you're trying to rent from, they may have their own application, but I always advise just fill out the basic one. At least you have it. It's the OREA form 410 or OREA 410. I have tons of copies. If you need one, just send me a message and I'd be happy to provide it to you. So we'll get the rental application, and please fill it out in full. It takes like 10 minutes. You got to maybe do a little bit of research to get some phone numbers, but actually take the time and fill it out. So get that all done. We're going to get your employment letter or income letter. Now, again, I don't discriminate whether you're employed or you get income from other sources, but however your income is showing up, I want to get a letter or something to kind of provide support and documentation of that income. The next thing I would do is proof of income. So if you have regular employment income, probably take the last 3 pay stubs, or if you have any other sort of income, maybe you're going to take 6 months of bank statements and highlight where that income's coming in. So you can show a pattern so people understand, okay, this person is getting paid or creating income on normal intervals, and give you a little bit more stability in your application. After that, we're going to get your credit report. Now, me personally, I'm not huge on credit reports. Like, I don't think they're the be all and end all, but so many people think they're important. So again, we play the game the way the rules are. So make sure you get your credit report. I like to use a single key for my credit reports, but there's also some free applications out there. There's a free application through Equifax. I can put that link in the show notes below so you can get that as well. And then the final thing, make sure you have a copy of your ID. Don't lead with your SIN number. You can keep that private until a little bit later in the stages, but a driver's license, permanent resident card, student ID, anything with that's going to be a good form of ID that you can use to just add to your application, giving that landlord or that other realtor a sense of security with your application. So those are the documents. And the third thing here I want to do is just kind of explain what I do for my clients. Now, again, if you're leasing, you can do it all by yourself. There's Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, or you can just knock on doors that have a for rent sign. You can do it by yourself. But a big thing that I do as a realtor is I actually help others get into rental properties themselves. I just worked with a tenant. We just found a property in Ajax for him, so that was super excited. So what I like to do with my clients is go a step above. I present a nice tenant package for landlords, either write directly to the landlord or for the realtors, depending on what client I'm working with. So now my tenant packages have all the above information that I spoke about, but they also have a little bit of extras. I do a professional tenant summary, which is just a document outlining some of the tenant strengths, weaknesses, strengths, weaknesses, and lifestyle that really paints a nice picture for the landlord. Number 2, I do enriched references. Now, I won't go into too much detail. I'll keep that one for my clients there, but I have an enriched reference system that gives the landlords a little bit more faith or a little bit more stability with that application, knowing about those references. I use all single keys resources to help my clients out, make sure they're in the most competitive state possible. We also do a lifestyle review and we document the budget and we document some of those other things for that landlord so they have more peace of mind accepting you as a tenant. And then finally, we wrap it up all in a professional presentation, because I always like to say how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you bring this professional package to a landlord on the first day, that really sets a tone. It's a really good first impression, and I've seen it work wonders. So I love doing it with my clients. Feel free to do it yourselves, or if you have any questions, you can kind of get back to me on it there. So that's all you need. Now, you can do it yourself. It's very easy, and I just walked you through the steps there. But if you are looking for someone to help you out with that, please send me a DM. I'd love to help you out, whether you're getting into a lease or if you're leasing yourself and you're looking for a tenant yourself. I'd love to help you out there as well. Guys, it's the Real Deal Durham Podcast. Thank you so much for submitting your question. Don't forget to submit yours. It's Isaiah Henry, and we will be right back.